Let's tighten up. It's your one. It's your boy. It's your one. It's your boy, the one P Sharp. Back here again, not only with a new show, but a new logo. If y'all ain't noticed, my last guest, my boy Tighten Up Mike, he came with my new logo. So appreciate him for the new logo. Looks man very nice, man. Everybody who voted on the different logo designs he had. Appreciate y'all voting and came up with new design. So man, shout out to Tighten Up Mike. Check him out, man, for your needs. If you need a logo, any type of graphic design. But got a new guest today, Carey Wood from C Wood. How you doing?
I'm good, man. About yourself?
I'm doing well, man. So funny. It's like I've been like following you for a second, checking out your podcast, and even though you was a Titans fan.
I mean, for a while, ever since to be honest with you, since they were the Oilers, back in the day, Warren Moon and going up to Steve McNair and all, man. So, it kind of was natural for me to kind of, keep that going when they moved to Nashville.
Sure, for sure. Well, as I do it, first time guest on each episode, I like to do a Q&A. So first up, first question I ask everybody is, where are you from and where you live now?
Well, that's an easy question. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama, and I still reside there now. So, I've been there all my life.
It's nice. Yeah, like you say, you became a Titans fan probably during the Oilers era. But how I guess reason I asked that question about where you live and where you're from is because like I wanted to kind of get the background how you became a Titans fan. So how and when did you become a Titans fan?
Okay, well, basically, like I said, when they first moved to Memphis, what was that first couple seasons. I mean, obviously, I was on them then. I was a big McNair fan. I mean, like I said, I liked the Oilers before that when they had Warren Moon and those receivers that they had, Ernest Givens and those dudes, man. And again, like I said, it was just kind of a natural thing that I would kind of, be a Titans fan once they got here. Because I never was a Falcons fan. You got a lot of Falcons fans, a
Yeah.
lot of Saints fans in Birmingham. I never was on that. so, the Titans became my team, man, and then it's been ever since.
For sure, for sure. And Birmingham is like the middle ground between Atlanta and Nashville, and even Memphis. I mean, they all like 3 hours. And I think I know it's 3 hours from Memphis. About two and a half to Atlanta. Guess Nashville's about the
Exactly.
same. Yeah. Um, so that does make sense. It's like dead center of where all
It
those
is,
teams at.
man. It really is, and I think that kind of makes it easier. It's an easy ride to get up to Nashville. I haven't been up there in a while to go to a game, but I've been to several of them.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. What were your thoughts about the Titans just this season? What was your thoughts about the whole season, regular season, playoffs, how it started, how it finished?
I mean, to be honest with you, man, it's about what I expected. Unfortunately, um, you know, we've seen it before. We get off. We got a questionable loss somewhere. We lost that first game to Arizona, and then it kind of went from there. But then we go out to Seattle, and at the time we didn't know the Seahawks weren't going to be what they normally are. So we go out there, we win that game like that, which was kind of we always seem to win a game that kind of makes you pop, get strikes to uh, eye popping win like that or whatever. We got that win in overtime and dramatic fashion, and everything. So, we always have one of those. Of course, we always have those questionable losses. The Jets, the Texans. So, in that way, it was pretty much what you expect. But then I guess like when you sit there and you look at it, not having Derrick Henry for since week 8, and kind of trying to transition from that, finding some other guys that can kind of tote the rock for you and everything. That turned out to be, I think, a pretty good thing actually, because I think once now you get Derrick Henry back, now you sitting there, you look up, you got a couple guys that you can put behind him now, maybe kind of lessen his wear and tear. And then you look defensively as well, man. I think we found the pass rush, um, and again, everything was, I thought, went about like I thought. And unfortunately, that kind of extended to the playoffs. I don't know what it is. We can't get out of that second round. Yeah, well, except for 2 years ago, when we got the AFC Championship game. Especially if we're playing at home. If we have a home playoff game, this is the way it's going to go.
Yeah.
So pretty much what I expect.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, no, this was the year. After all the years of watching the Titans, like this was the year where it was like, okay, a Super Bowl seems like this the best shot at it, and I had to remind myself even after the disappointment that we're still on the right path. It's
Exactly.
it's easy to look at it like, man, we have a short window. Like, not really. Like, since Jon Robinson's got here 6 years ago, we've had winning season for 6 years in a row. We gradually got better. We were 9-7 4 years in a row. Then we been in the playoffs for the past 6 years, 3 years in a row. It's like like
that's the way to look at it.
Yeah. Exactly. So we're on the right path. Like, I'm not, it's very easy to get like that because it's just like it's hard. It's hard to win Super Bowl. I think also just speaking of myself, just getting older and understanding like, man, the same team don't win every year. Like the Patriots were the last team that won 3 out of 4 years. Since then, nobody has. I don't think anybody's won back to back. So it's like nobody all years just win one.
It is, man. And you see the parity that's going on in the NFL right now. It's at all time high. I mean, you got Rams this year. Last year, of course, Tom Brady goes to Tampa Bay and kind of turns that thing around for them. But and then you've had the Eagles recently, and of course, like you said, New England. So yeah, it just the thing, like you just said. I think the path is there. We're heading in the right direction. Just got to a few tweaks here and there. I think it's gonna work out.
Right, exactly. But next question I got and gets to podcast, and so you're the host of All About the South. So want to know and get into how and why did you start podcasting?
Well, actually, kind of watching guys like you, man. To be honest with you, I got a lot of friends on social media that's kind of doing the same thing, and couple of them were actually trying to get me out there to do it, and I really didn't think I had the time to really put into it. Then one day I was like, no, I kind of had the itch to go ahead and do it. I don't know if I know you've listened to my podcast. A lot of it centers around the SEC, as you can see with the Alabama T-shirt on and everything. Yeah, a lot of So I've always wanted to kind of be able to talk about Alabama, not just Alabama, but I try to cover the entire SEC, and whether it's Auburn, whether it's Tennessee, whether it's Florida, Georgia, whoever. And I just had that itch. And I've also done a little writing as well, in sports. I haven't done a whole lot lately. So, it was just out there for me to do it, man. I decided, hey, I'm going to jump into it.
Nice. And, what I like about your podcast, it was unique in the sense that, and even my podcast, like we talk a little, let's be real, we talk a little bit about college, but it's not because we're talking about every sport. So it's just so well-rounded. Yours is like you kind of take emphasis on college, specifically the SEC, and I do. It's very different. It's like not many podcasts out there that's like specifically talking about college. A lot of people talking about pros, so you kind of tune in on. And it's not just one sport, football. You talking about the basketball, so that's why it's very unique. You, Mike Patton, I like his. Like he ain't talking about just mine's about the Titans. I do talk about other things and stuff, but he talked about the 200 FC South. He talking about the whole division.
Exactly. Exactly. And I appreciate that. But I like the way you do it too. I mean, because obviously you're centered around the Titans, and that you can be a little bit more focused, I think, on what on that one team. And I obviously you do some other things well, but I'm just saying I think that's a good way to do it. So it's two different paths, but I think both of them are equally good.
Yeah, for sure. Especially the Titans, we don't get national media coverage. So
I mean, at all. I'm gonna tell you one thing right quick, man. I can't even find any gear in Birmingham. Any Titans gear, can't find it. I don't understand it, but that goes into what you just said.
Yep, it's kind of the same. You can find when Titans Rossi, one of the Titans YouTubers, he reached out to me. One of his friends came to Memphis, and he was like, man, he have a tough time finding Titans gear. And I was like, Memphis and Nashville got that beef. The Titans came here and left.
That's what it is. There you go. Maybe it's something with Birmingham too. I don't know. But, it's strange. And then just now, to be honest with you, we've just now been able to like get most of the games on. As far as in that 12 o'clock game or whatever. I mean, it was hard even finding that. I had to have. I've never had Direct TV, but I always had to have what's it called, Game Pass to see all of them.
It's crazy because they're right there. Yeah. And thank you. So Titans play on CBS, so I can understand like if the Falcons and Saints play on Fox. So
right.
So that's what we're saying. Wild. Like I understood both of them. They play on the same station that you just go with Atlanta games, but they play on different networks.
Exactly. Man, that's all. I mean, but sometimes they'll have the Falcons or the Saints on CBS as well, and I got tired of it. Like, come on, man. But we finally I guess we had to get some clout by getting when we got to the AFC title game. They finally gave us some.
That's crazy, man. But the last question is, I guess, for anybody who's considering podcasting, and kind of like you spoke about how people are telling you to get into it. What advice would you have for anybody who's considering and looking for their last little motivation to start a podcast?
Well, I think, man, if it's something that you love, it's got to be one thing that you really love. I think because I'm sure you probably have your 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 job or whatever, like I do, and you just got to have that itch, like I said, and I think the biggest thing is maybe try to kind of be a little bit unique, and just get out there, man. Because like I say, I was like, man, I don't know how I'm gonna sound on the podcast. I'm like, me being on Spotify and all that. Come on, man, And so I was like, I kind of messed around with it a little bit. And I said, okay, well, okay, it sounds okay. I can roll with it. And so I throw it out there, and so far it's done pretty good. So you just got to push yourself out there if you want to do it, man. And that's my biggest advice. But to be honest with you, I've only been my show has only been going since September, since the start of college football. So I'm still learning. And like guys like you said, Mike Patton and a lot of other guys that I follow on social media, they do a heck of a job with it. And I'm kind of taking bits and pieces of what they do. So I think that's another thing that you need to do if you're getting into it. Just kind of look at some of the things that other guys are doing. And other women too, you can't do. There are a lot of good women podcasts out there. A lot of good females doing their thing.
Yeah. For sure. And I like our little network on Twitter. Like, I mean, I think I networked with Damien probably right when COVID started, because he had like this in YouTube videos, and I kind of took some of what he did and we implemented with our Let's Be Real podcast. And of course, Chris at Dropout Spot, he does great work. Other guys, C. Henry, he does good work. Ashley Baker, like that's the whole like.
Yeah, I love those kind of little network. I totally agree with you. I totally agree. Yeah.
But I do got another question. Since you are an Alabama fan, you're used to winning that. You're used to winning that championship. So how does it feel when you actually lose the national championship and you finally lose it? Georgia finally beat y'all this year. How does that feel? Y'all used to win, so it can't be that. It can't be that bad, right?
It didn't feel good, man. But I was okay with it though. This time, I really was, because I was like, man, we've been on this run since 2008, really, since Nick when we went to that first SEC title game and lost to Florida. I mean, when you sit there and you win that many games like that, and you're in a situation where I think Alabama's been an underdog like 2 or 3 times since then. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So, I mean, I was good with it, man. It is what it is. I thought we had a really good season despite losing that game. We had a lot of injuries, and had some things go wrong. I think some guys that we expected a lot from and didn't get what we expected from them, and we're still able to sit there and get to the national championship game. I mean, it was cool, man. And then now we got Bryce Young coming back. that's something we only had maybe a couple times, man, to have a quarterback return the next season. That's how crazy this thing is. Yeah. So yeah, I was good with it. You know, I hate to see all these Georgia fans now on Twitter and everything. Oh, they think they won 5 championships in a row or something right now, you know. But yeah, it's cool. Man. So you know,
Hey,
it's
I don't
all
fault them.
good.
I don't fault them. Don't let
I don't
Titans
even, yeah,
let Titans win the
exactly.
Super Bowl.
We're gonna be on the other 31 NFL teams the same way, right?
Hey,
Exactly.
I ain't gonna mention my college team winning. Well, we are doing better. Tennessee Vols, the Raptors, Alabama, obviously.
I mean,
This year was
ain't nothing
promising.
wrong with that.
Yeah,
Ain't
it was
nothing
actually
wrong with
promising.
that.
We were actually fun to watch. It was promising. I'm
Yes,
like, okay.
yes, absolutely. So I mean, there's nothing. I think Josh Heupel could be the guy. He
Yeah.
could be the guy finally. So and Tennessee still has a good tradition as well. I mean, I know they haven't done well lately, but you know, I wouldn't be ashamed of that, man.
Man, it'd be rough. It's been rough some years, but you know.
It's been rough, though. I feel you,
But
man.
yeah. All right, let's get into mini break. Well, first up, let people know. I'm gonna ask you at the end of the show as well, but let the people know where they can follow you at.
Oh, okay. Basically, at Seawood on sports on Twitter and IG. That's mainly where I'm at. Follow me at Carey Wood or whatever on Facebook. I don't have a page. I don't know why I haven't put a page for my podcast on Facebook yet. That's one thing I need to do. But I'm on IG and I'm on Twitter. I also have kind of a Twitter page that I've kind of started out for the podcast Ball About South, at Ball About South. So those three, those are the areas that you can follow me at.
Cool. Well, we'll be back in a second after the promo for LBR Media.
Welcome to Let's Be Real Media, a podcast network that provides your official game plan for sports, culture, and music. Headlined by the Let's Be Real podcast featuring P. Shark, Scott Lido, Tel Shakir, Trevor, Sheedy, and Savage, and includes other podcasts like the I Don't Know Sports podcast by Savage, the Let's Tighten Up podcast by P. Shark, Scooting with Sheedy by none other, the name says it itself, Sheedy, Pittsburgh County podcast by Trevor, and Let's Talk About It by Uncle Mike. You can follow us on social media at LB Real Media on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And as you can see, the website, go on the website, lbrealmedia.com to check us out. Thanks.
Yep. Back again. Let's tighten up. As always, y'all know you can follow me at LBR Tighten Up. Yep. You can find me at LBR Tighten Up or my personal Twitter, the _P Shark. If you want to hear about other, all sports. Today I was tweeting about the NBA trade deadline, so I tweet about everything on that page. So find me there.
I hear that.
Yeah, right. And of course, check out the show on YouTube. Let's Tighten Up Pod, and you can listen to audio anywhere you listen to your podcast. But let's get into some Titans news. One at the Titans episodes, don't be bored, and my guy Scott Lido from Let's Be Real podcast, my co-host there. He always said don't entertain people when they're bored, and I actually held off on muting Titans fans. I just not entertaining them. Just y'all bored. It's getting February, so the reason this episode called "Don't Be Bored" because I did mute the names Ryan Tannehill and Aaron Rodgers on my timeline. So
I don't blame you
this week.
I don't blame
you. It's February, y'all. Like I'm not gonna make this whole discussion on this podcast, but it's February.
Exactly.
Exactly. Y'all getting mad at J-Rob for Tannehill is still under contract. He can't come out and say we're trying to get rid of him, and he don't know if Aaron Rodgers said he decided he's leaving Green Bay yet. He's not making a decision to March. Like it's not even the season hasn't ended.
I know exactly.
Y'all getting mad. Like it's like it's not. I guarantee you, if tomorrow Aaron Rodgers said I'm leaving Green Bay, I want to go to Tennessee. I bet you.
Oh man,
we looking to make that move. That's just the truth.
You absolutely 100% on that.
Right.
100%. Yeah, exactly.
But right, Tannehill's still your quarterback. You gotta have his back. Like it's just because he more likely might be back. So it's just a fact facts of it. So
Yeah,
I didn't get to it. I just wanted to give my opinion on it.
I know, right? Yeah, I can't see how we're gonna not have Ryan Tannehill. That having that going into that last season on that contract. I wish we could, man. I wish we had another plan, but I don't know. I can't stand it right now. I can't really see it either.
Yeah. But, like I said, things happen, but I'm not about to react to no news in February. Beginning of February, the Super Bowl haven't even played yet. Like, it's not.
Exactly.
It's way too early for that. Like, that news is not. It's irrelevant right now.
It
shout out
is.
to the reporter. No disrespect to CD. Shout, he reported. Shout out to him, but hey, it's irrelevant to me. I'm not about to, get mad at anything over no decisions made right now. But what I did want to get into is some of the first staff changes. They did add Tim Kelly to the offense, similar in the role that Jim Schwartz was for the defense. Right. Me personally, I did like the move. I know they considered getting Tim Kelly last year for the offense coordinator position, but now they're bringing him on this year to be guess what? I forgot. Yeah, passing game coordinator, right? Passing
game coordinator or something like that.
Yeah.
I like the move as well. I don't know if it's how it's going to exactly help Ryan. But yeah, I like the move. He came over from Houston, if I'm not mistaken. Kelly, yeah. So I like the move, and I think it's needed, man. I think that we have the receivers for the most part. I'd like to really see maybe another speed guy, to be honest with you. Somebody can maybe stretch the field a little bit. But I mean, anybody that can kind of get in there and help Tannehill if he's going to be there. Yeah, I'm for that.
Yeah, for sure. And he's a Vrabel's guy, so you got he's used to him.
Right.
You got the camaraderie there. And if you're gonna stick with Todd Downey, the offense coordinator, at least bring in somebody familiar. I know that's another person we wanted to fire, but I understand the continuity, right? Because sometimes you go.
No, sir. I'm just saying continuity is important. That's all I was gonna say.
Yeah, because Shane Bowen, I guess you can make the case. Last year or this year, they made some personnel changes on the defense. The defense looked a whole lot much better than they did the year before.
Yes.
And, we did a lot of blaming Shane Bowen, and he wasn't officially the defense coordinator. We don't know who was calling plays. Like, I guess he was calling plays, but Vrabel had to interfere a lot because he didn't ever give him the title. So, yeah, never really knew. Like, once you actually give him the title, you give him the players, the defense takes up.
They did, man, and I think that was obviously very important. That pass rush, man, getting them together with Simmons and Landry, and then the secondary. I mean, obviously, the secondary was a major weakness last year, and we're not. I don't think maybe where we want to be, but a lot better for sure with Byard and Fulton and all those guys. So, man, it definitely paid its dividends. So hopefully we're gonna see something similar on the offensive end.
Right. The secondary is much better. I know a lot of people still have like that. So it was the weakest point of our defense, but it wasn't necessarily a weakness in my opinion.
Right. I agree with that. Right.
Yeah. Although we were like 20. Although we were 20th in pass. When you have the lead, we won almost our games. When you have the lead a lot, the other team tend to pass the ball more. So you're going to give up a lot of yards. You got
a point there. You got to look deeper into the stats a little bit sometimes. Yeah.
Exactly. But outside of that, Mike Vrabel, I talked about continuity and talked earlier about, us being a winning team for the last 6 years. So J-Rob and Mike Vrabel both signed extensions. I haven't seen the actual details. I haven't seen anybody actually put the actual details, how long the extensions were or whatever, but they both have signed extensions. So how do you feel about those two being here even longer?
Well, I think it's well deserved. Like you say, man, we again, getting back to continuity, we've been playoffs here the last few years. And like you said before, when we first started the podcast, we're still on that right path. I think that we're getting a little bit closer. And I don't have any problem with Jon Robinson and the things he's done. We'll see how things go in this draft. I think it's an important draft coming up, though. I really do. But I don't have a problem with both those guys getting extended. And I think that's the best thing to do.
Yeah, same here. I'm in the trust in J-Rod camp. I've been like that. It's a lot of fans. He missed on Isaiah Wilson pick. You know, they get on him about the most smallest thing. But he makes
I mean, look, it was a need at the time. It was a need. You know what I'm saying? So if he made the pick, look, I mean, you can't control that. Control that. And, you know, I know it's basically a first round pick and we got nothing out of it. I understand that, but we needed the offensive tackle and it just didn't work out.
Right. And this happens when you have late first round picks because you're winning. When you have a later pick, you can stand to miss more, you know, sometimes.
Well, absolutely.
Right? So, and some first round picks, like, just because they ain't signed to a second contract doesn't mean that the pick was a bust. Corey Davis really wasn't considered a bust. He got better throughout, but I understand you did pick him over some people like Marshawn Lattimore, people like that. But overall, it wasn't that, you know, to me, it wasn't a bust. Odor Jackson really wasn't that, but he started getting hurt. Like, it wasn't, those type of picks really weren't bust. They finished out their rookie contract. They just, you want to pay them more.
Exactly. No, you couldn't pay him, and then obviously you're looking at adding Julio at that point, so it kind of became expendable. I mean, Corey Davis had a heck of a year last year, and it was his time, and I don't blame him. I don't blame the organization for moving on from him. I hated to see him go, but again, you know, you thought you had an upgrade with Julio and everything, but. Yeah, so it's all good. But I never thought Corey Davis was bust. He never did.
Yeah. Now, also, you can't predict injuries because, you know, Julio had his hamstrings. Corey Davis actually got hurt. He was out for the season. He missed like the last 2 months of the season. So, you know,
he was.
So things like injuries happen.
You don't never know how it's going to work out, man. You don't never know.
And I preach this about Caleb Farley. Like, his injury concern was his back. He tore his ACL. The ACL and back got nothing to do with each other.
Right, exactly, man. It's crazy how this thing worked out, man. You know?
Like, not the damaged player. No, I mean, let's give him a chance to recover from torn ACL. That wasn't his injury concern.
Right, exactly. So, you know, it's all good, man. You know, we just got, you know, it's gonna work out. You just don't know how things are gonna play out, though, man. You just gotta keep it in a row. That's all you can do.
Right. But getting to the Senior Bowl was played this past weekend.
You're
really big in college football, so I just wanted to kind of point out some prospects you think that any prospects that will participate in the Senior Bowl interest you. Any position, you know, a lot of people looking at quarterbacks. I have been a proponent of drafting. If you can't make the trade, draft a quarterback. Do what San Francisco did, or do what Kansas City did when they drafted Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith for a year.
That's it. That's exactly right.
Yeah, I think we should do that. Yeah, that's why I think we should do. But if a player who could be day one impact player shows up in the first round, you might take him too. But I guess what Senior Bowl prospects kind of interest you that Titans probably should target?
Well, if you want to talk quarterback right now, I would say Matt Corral. Now maybe it's my SEC bias coming out on that one. I'm not as big a Pickett guy, you know, but I like Corral, man. You saw his heart and everything playing through that injury, going into the Sugar Bowl. You saw a lot of guys that did not play in their bowl games, and he decided, okay, look, I'm going out there. I know I'm putting myself in a little bit harm's way, getting ready for the draft and everything, but you know, he looked past that. I think he has. Obviously, he's, you know, kind of short in stature and everything, but I think he can get the ball down the field pretty good. I do like Malik Willis too. I mean, you know, I'm seeing a lot of the Steelers maybe being on him. That's what I've been seeing a lot of. I don't know. That doesn't really sound like the fit to me, but
yeah,
I like him as well. So if you're talking about quarterbacks, those probably be two guys I would look at. But you know, I really would like a tight end for the Titans because you know, I think maybe Ferguson was not exactly what we thought he could be after we lost Jonathan Smith.
Yeah.
So you know, there was a couple tight ends I was looking at. Maybe we go offensive line. There's a guy out of Northern Iowa. I think his name is I can't get that guy's name straight. Vim.
I'm trying to say I know the higher one.
Yeah, because I saw a couple people talking about that might be a good pick for the Titans that up front. Maybe Nick Ford is another guy out of Utah. Yeah, you heard of him?
Yeah.
Now those would be kind of later round picks though. So I don't know. What do you think about them getting a quarterback right now? Maybe trying to trade up. What do you think about that?
If they fall in love with guys, go get them and have them sit behind Tannehill for a year. I am a proponent. I want like a court. Malik Willis should probably be my ideal fit. I know somebody, my guy Philip Maddox, told me look into Carson Strong. That'd probably be a pick more if we can get a second round pick. But I'm more into the potential. Since quarterback, he'll sit in for a year. Because and this is me, I'm gonna be honest. When Pat Mahomes was coming to the draft, I didn't think Pat Mahomes would become what he became. I think him going to the perfect situation, sitting behind Alex Smith for a year with Andy Reid, helped him kind of become what if he could win.
I totally agree. I totally agree with that.
If he started day one anywhere else, I don't think he becomes what he became. Because that's the reason why he wasn't the first quarterback taken. And it was raw potential that kind of got, amplified. And to me, I've been Alan McCarroll for that reason. I think he's probably like a Ryan Tannehill type quarterback. And in my opinion, like you need to try and get somebody that has the potential to, be elite. Because
a little bit more upside. Yeah. A little bit more upside. Yeah, I'm with you on. The only thing I didn't like about Malik Willis, he threw a lot of interceptions. He threw quite. He's kind of a gunslinger. Obviously, you know what he can do outside the pocket. But that's my biggest thing on Malik Willis. Again, the talent is there though. I mean, if they want to do that, I'm for it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Because I think again, you get the right mix around him, strong running game. Man, I can see that. I can see that for sure.
Especially he's sitting a year, that definitely helps. I know because a lot of people mentioned Desmond. I definitely don't want Desmond Ridder. Not saying he's sorry.
No, man. You know what? Yeah,
I'm not game manager.
Exactly.
Yep.
Well, you saw that, and it was against us in the Cotton Bowl, but you kind of saw it right there. I mean, he's. I don't really see the guy that's going to be, have that kind of dynamic look to him. I don't see a Joe Burrow or whatever, on that. So, yeah, I'm with you on that.
I've seen him improve I am a Memphis fan as well, Memphis and Tennessee, although they're rivals. I'm both fans of both teams. So I've seen Desmond Ridder, Memphis playing Cincinnati for the last 3 years. And he's never impressed me. He's gotten better. From his sophomore year, I think he was good. I didn't really think he was good at all. And to his senior year, I'm like, okay, he's pretty decent, but he's I never saw like a first round pick in him. And the fact I'm like, dang, he a first round talent. Yeah, I didn't see that.
I didn't either, man. Yeah, man. And I was sitting there saying the same exact thing. And like you say, he's good enough. Got Cincinnati to the first time for a group of 5 team to get to the playoff and everything, but yeah, I don't see the dynamics, man. I really don't. I'm with you on that
one. Another quarterback, he was highly talented coming out of high school, and he did pretty decent in North Carolina, and Sam Howell. But I do see a lot of Mitch Trubisky in him too. That's what kind of scared me off.
Right.
And both of them play in North Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, and I was surprised at that a little bit. Obviously, everybody had him. Oh, he's gonna be the Heisman guy. This is your Heisman guy. He's coming back for that last season with North Carolina and everything. Never worked out. It never worked out for him, man. And so it's gonna be. I'm not even seeing anyone projecting him in the first 2 rounds from what I've been seeing.
Right, I seen like the day 3 pick. I'm like, you can probably get him later, day 3 or day 2, like the 3rd round. You might just need to just hold off and get him then. That wouldn't be a bad pickup as well. But that round.
Exactly.
Couple other players I think I did see. Probably you was talking about Charlie Kolar. Kohler, tight end for Iowa State.
Yes. That's another guy. Yes, I really haven't seen where he was projected, but I do see. I have seen a lot of him in the Big 12. He had a really good season, and again, I think he's the guy that kind of fits that mold that we've been talking about. He's a guy that I think can stretch the field a little bit, and then also he can serve as a pretty good blocker as well. Because obviously, in our offense, that's going to be very important.
Yep. And like most of our needs, and we might saw some of this free agency. Need tight end, need a speed receiver. Who Memphis fan? I know this has been biased a little bit, but Calvin Austin might be a mid-round selection. The Titans could, and you know what? I wanted the Titans to take Antonio Gibson when he was out, although he ended up converting to running back. A lot of people don't know Antonio Gibson, the running back for the Washington
I know him well.
Commanders. He was a wide receiver in Memphis.
You know what? I forgot about that. That's right.
And Tony Pollard for Dallas. They both converted to running back.
They moved to running back. I mean, I forgot about he was a wide receiver. Yeah, I remember him being in Memphis, but I forgot he was a run. That is crazy.
Right.
Hey, Cordero Patterson, right?
Right. So, Calvin Austin, that's a speed. We said we need a speed slot guy. That's him.
Again, I agree totally. My phone, sorry, man.
You're good. But yeah, that's a guy definitely I'm looking to. It's a possibility for wide receiver. Trey McBride, tight end for Colorado State. That's another guy, potential first round pick.
Yes.
And of course, lineman.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Now of course, we need some linemen. We're probably gonna need linemen. Probably, Rodney Saffold, taking one. We'll see what happens with contract situations. Ben Jones is a free agent, so we might be doing some retooling along the offensive line. And of course, the big time wide receivers, your guy, Alabama, Jameson Williams. No, he got hurt, but he could be back in time for the season. I know they don't want to take on another red shirt prospect, but if you take a quarterback, that's a red shirt prospect too. To me, rookies are rookies. Like when you draft in slaves, we draft. Most of the time, those rookies are not going to be impacting from day one. This is true.
Most of the time, not. I mean, you'll find a diamond in the rough every now and then, but yeah, very, very seldom you're gonna find one that's gonna start or be, have impact first year. But Jameson Williams, that's a thought possibly. If you're looking to go with that speed guy, I'm seeing late first round on him right now.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you may have to wait on him a little bit though. That's the only thing about it. Obviously he should be ready by training camp, you would think, but I don't know if you want to go that route right now or not. But he's a pretty good one for sure.
All right, so yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for. There's plenty of different prospects. The Senior Bowl. Titans like to take the seniors. They like to take the older guys who are a little more seasoned. So we'll see what happens. The draft is 2 months away, so I don't want to see any boredom about the draft like how y'all bored about Tannehill, Aaron Rodgers right now. Draft is a whole 2.5 months away, so don't. We got time.
No, it is, man. Yeah, and it always it's kind of been hard for me to get used to that because I used to be right there in April, and now kind of got to wait a little bit later for it. We hadn't even got to the combine yet, so
Exactly. Combine 2 weeks. Got to combine 2 weeks. Free agency 2 weeks after that. Then
right. Exactly. And so it's kind of thrown me off too. It really has. But yeah, we got a long way to go, man. We got a lot of free agents to go through before we even get to that.
Exactly. So, got a long off season. The official season hasn't ended yet, and that's what we're about to get into next. Super Bowl picks.
That sounds good to me. All right.
Who you got? Cincinnati Bengals. Who? Fortunately,
I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna tell it to you like this. This is kind of crazy. But me doing my picks, I've been 9-3 during the playoffs. The 3 games that I missed with the Bengals. The playoffs. The 3 games. You would think that I would have learned my lesson by now, right? I lost them against the Raiders, right? In the wild card round. Then of course Does. And then I don't feel as bad about Kansas City. I don't know of anybody that picked them to be Kansas City. Right. But but yeah, I mean that's the only three that I lost. So man, going with that, you would think I would go with the Bengals. But I think I'm going back with the Rams. I picked the Rams to be in the Super Bowl back at the first of the year, and I'm gonna have to roll with that. I'm gonna roll with them. I just think that you look at what they have. Well, I'm gonna tell you the first thing. Actually, the pass rush that we were able to get 9 sacks on. Right. Okay. Well, and you're sitting there talking about Leonard Floyd. Okay, and you're talking about Aaron Donald, Von Miller, and all those guys. I'm not really sure how they're going to be able to hold up. Now they held up last week against Kansas City pretty good, but I don't know, man. And I kind of go back to that, and I don't know. It just seems like maybe, and then you look at Stafford coming over from Detroit. This kind of like a storybook kind of thing, man. Okay, he finally gets his chance. He gets out to LA, and I don't know. I'm going with the Rams for those reasons. And then you got the big receiver Cooper Kupp. You got OBJ on the other side. Them picking up OBJ and Von Miller to me put this team over the top. So I'm gonna roll with them. And who knows? I might be 9-4 after this, but hey, I'm gonna roll with it anyway.
I do got a question for you hearing this. You've been an Alabama fan. Cincinnati being led by LSU guys. Does that have any correlation to any of you not picking the Bengals?
Not at all. It could be. You know what? I didn't think about that. But hey, that could be that's the problem right there. And they've been trolling me since 2019 when they beat us in that game at Bryant Denny Stadium, man.
That's like the only time they beat y'all.
That's what it is. You figured it out.
That's why. That's like the only time they beat y'all.
I mean, yeah, exactly. That's it, man. So so they still trolling me. That's what's going on.
But like you, I have picked against the Bengals all 3 games, literally. Same thing. I picked against them. Now I have a worse record than you. I missed some other games, of course. But yeah, what games I missed? I missed the Bengals 3 times. I had the Bucks. I haven't picked the Rams. I flew out to the LA game when the Titans beat them.
I remember you said.
And since that game, when I saw Stafford throwing picks, and really the rest of the season he played well, so I was kind of out on Stafford, and so that's why I picked Tampa Bay. But him making that pass at the end of the game, prompted me to actually pick them to finally get past San Francisco after losing to them 6 times in a row to get to the Super Bowl. But I learned my lesson. I'm not picking against the Bengals.
You learned your lesson. So you think I would, right?
Yeah. I know the Rams got that strong defensive line, but it goes back to us. We had 9 sacks, and they still won. And in my opinion, and I know Ryan Tannehill. Of course, we blame it on Ryan Tannehill, or most of it on Ryan Tannehill. Matthew Stafford, in my opinion, can do the same exact thing that not only Ryan Tannehill did, that Pat Mahomes did as well. Nobody's talking about Cincinnati's defense.
You know what? I totally agree with that. I totally agree, and they did a job on Mahomes in that second half. Big time job. Mahomes was shook at the end of that game, and he was pressing. You could tell it, and the pressure got to him.
So to me, like Matthew Stafford, let's not forget San Francisco. What was the guy's name? Tart, the one who dropped the pick.
Tart. Oh man. He couldn't have brought it out there and put it in his hands in the belt.
But trust me, Matthew Stafford is going to give him some opportunities. And what I've seen from the Bengals defense this whole postseason is when the quarterback give them opportunities, they take it. They catch their feet.
That's true. Well, all you gotta do is ask Kansas City. That's all you gotta do.
Like they don't drop interceptions.
they don't. You know what? To be honest, in that drive in the OT,
I know Eli Apple.
Mahomes could have thrown a couple more interceptions. He could have thrown
Eli
3.
Apple dropped the pick 6. Actually, I was like, yeah, they do. So they take that bet. They do drop. They do. They rarely.
Rarely. Rarely do they
Eli
drop.
Apple showed dropped that pick 6 because they could have already won.
They could have won it right there, man. There wouldn't have been no doubt. I'm telling you, man. But you make a good point, but that Bengals defense, I don't think it gets enough notoriety at all, and that's another huge reason they're where they are. I mean, even in that Raiders game, they came up with the play when they had to make it against Carey. Yeah. And then the drive before that, they held them to the field goal instead. So man. Cincinnati. Don't get me wrong at all. I can definitely see Cincinnati winning the game. I definitely can, but I just think, again, like I say, I picked the Rams to start the season. I just not necessarily win the Super Bowl, but at least get there. And I had them going up against Kansas City, so that didn't work out. But I don't know. Something's telling me that maybe this is the Rams. I really, and I started kind of not feeling that way after that Tampa Bay game. I was like, man, the Rams sit there and blow this thing like that, and they really probably should have. But and then I was like, okay, what are they going to look like coming up here in the championship game? It seemed like they kind of put all that behind them, they were able to beat San Francisco. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with the Rams. But I hear exactly what you're saying on the Broncos thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with I expect it to be a good game. I don't expect it to be like a shoot. I don't expect it to be a shootout for that reason I just said. The defenses, they both got pretty good defenses, so I expect
they do
I think it'll be more like in the 20s, kind of like the Kansas City game. It was like 27-24. I expect it to be somewhere along those lines. Give me Joe Burrow, man. I think Joe Burrow is better and more clutch than Matthew Stafford, and I think if you can win after 9 sacks, you can do anything.
Exactly. It did help Ryan. Ryan Tannehill did kind of help him out.
Yeah,
kind of gift wrapping the ball right there at midfield for him. But I get what you're saying. And Burrow, man, that dude is very clutch. He really is, man. For him to be 2 seasons out of college, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Wow.
So
and he came out. He came out of nowhere he came out of nowhere that year in college. Like nobody
nobody saw that. No one saw that. They had Joe Brady come in there and kind of take the role that Tim Kelly's doing right now, passing game coordinator, and they took off, man. But you see all this talent that he had around him, Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, all those dudes. So yeah, that was their team, man, no doubt.
Hey, for sure. Well, man, it does it for this episode. Hey, man, can you let the people know where to follow you at again?
Oh yeah, man. On Twitter and IG at CWood on Sports. And of course, my podcast is Ball About the South. You can find it pretty much anywhere: Spotify, Apple, all those places. Just by anywhere you can listen to a podcast. I don't have the video. I'm thinking about doing that. I haven't done that. Gotten into that quite yet, but I mean, any of those places you can find me, and man, definitely do so. I love to talk on Twitter and IG on anything sports, man, anything.
So, man, appreciate you coming on again. I definitely could vouch for you. You're definitely a good follow. Definitely got to get you back on the show. Especially as get close to the season, discuss more Titans and college football.
That's cool. That's cool, man. That is cool. I'm down for it, man. I appreciate the opportunity to be on.
No doubt. And as always, y'all can follow me on Twitter at LBR Tighten Up. Follow my personal account at @1_P Shark. And follow the rest side, Let's Be Real Media thing at LBR_Media. We actually changed. It used to be LB Real Media. Now we changed it to LBR_Media. And Let's Be Real podcast every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. LBR Sports 901. And if you're a Grizzlies fan, you actually got some fun, exciting things to look forward to with John Moran in the game. Got the Grizzlies podcast for you. They come out every single Monday, starting 5 podcasts for the Grizzly Bear Blues Podcast Network. Just go search Grizzly Bear Blues Podcast Network on any podcast platform, and you'll find us on there. But till next time, everyone, let's tighten up.